to the show. My name is Ikeji-Kanu, and for the next hour, I am your host as we venture into the world of entertainment. Now, it was indeed an intense week in entertainment. I mean, think about it. Coming off the back of the Supreme Court ruling on Roe v. Wade, the BET Awards ushered us into a new week. But you see, that excitement didn't last long because we saw the fall of two of the biggest celebrities in the industry. So, needless to say, it was a long week, but that is why we thank God it's a weekend. Let's get you started the right way. Olalade Ashakez, peace be unto you, is our mood for this weekend. Okay, so let's begin with the Real Housewives of Lagos. It was many things. You know, it was drama, it was laughter. Sometimes, actually, it was heartbreaking. You know, it was fashionable, but most of all, it was Nigerian. We saw the lives of these 6 Nigerian women as they navigated friendship, business, and relationship embodied in this show. Now it has come to an end. We saw the season finale, but the first part of the reunion aired today, and we saw these gorgeous women relive their experiences through the entire season. Well, on Arise 360, you know we followed the show that Nigerians could not get enough of, and here's some of our favorite moments.
Reunion.
You say we're not friends. Are you the one that they want to believe?
From September to October
Are you the
was
one
when
that
I
they want
knew
to
you.
believe?
I know the dates.
So now we have looked at the recap. Now we're getting up close and personal with a cast on the show. Laura, Ikeji-Kanu, Laura. I feel like you're one of those people. It's so hard for you to hide how you really feel.
I know, right?
So did you, like, sometimes you're rolling your eyes and then they're telling you, Laura, you're rolling your eyes, and you're like, how am I rolling my eyes? Tell me about that.
You know, the thing is, for me, when I'm tired, I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm not feeling the space, I'm not feeling the space. Now I'll learn to pretend. I'll learn to say, oh, I'm having fun, even when I'm not having fun. I think that was my problem on the show.
But that's the thing. You know, let's be honest. Lagos has this air, yeah? And in a way, Laura, I felt like I could relate to your I won't call it a character, your personality on the show. A situation where it's like, everyone is used to doing one particular thing. Like, okay, just, you know, let's just vibe, let's just chill. Even if everyone else isn't having fun, let's just, you know, go with the flow. But you don't seem to be that type of person. And you live in a city that's the motto of Lagos. Like, you have to just get in with the energy. So for you being on the show, what was that like for you?
I'm different. I'm different from everybody. We are all individuals. We have different personalities. For me, this is real life for me. I don't go out that much. I don't party. I don't mix that much. I don't have a lot of friends in Lagos. My friends are my family members, my sisters, my brother, my very close friends. So it was actually hard for me to blend in. Yeah, it was because
I thought you were pretending. I was like,
no,
is it really hard?
No, because even when they were not having fun, they were like, oh, hi. And I'm like, obviously you're not having fun. What's wrong with you? For me, when I wasn't having fun, I was like, yeah, I need.
Do you think in a way that's why they thought like, oh, Laura just thinks she's better than the rest of us?
No. I told a few of them that I wasn't feeling the group. I wasn't feeling, because there are a lot of things happening, and I was tired. I have 2 kids at home. You know, I have to cook, I have to clean, I have to take care of my children. I don't understand staying outside till 1, 2 a.m. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they tell me, oh, you want to leave early. I want to leave early because this is a reality show.
It is.
It doesn't make sense to pretend. I want to leave early because I need to, you know, put my kids to sleep. I need to take care of my home. I need to do all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain it to some of them. On the show, I really did not know how to explain it to the wives, because some of them do not have kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are married. I live with my husband, with my kids. I'm not dissing anybody. No shade today.
No shade intended. No
shade.
Rise 360 does not even do shade. Come on.
So reality.
Yeah.
I don't stay outside till 1. I don't stay outside till 2. After some time, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So next time, maybe when I'm tired, I'll be like, oh, I'm tired, but let's finish your party.
So did you ever feel on the show that you were being gaslighted? And I'll tell you why I ask you this question. There was a scene where I feel that was the Dubai period. Everybody had gone to Dubai. You all were having fun. This was off the back of the issues with Caroline.
Yeah.
And then, Toyin was just giving off this energy. And to be honest, I related to that feeling as well. This is someone that you consider a true friend, clearly. So did you ever feel like, oh boy, this gaslighting though, you can't win, so just let it happen?
Dubai was crazy. Dubai was very crazy. At least for me, my relationship with Tony was just, I don't know. I thought about her, and I really liked her, and I was friends with her before the show. Okay, I was friends. Hey, this word friends. She and I were cool.
Yeah.
That's a better phrase. She and I were cool before the show. And I actually thought that she would always be on my side. Even outside before we got to Dubai, I had spoken to her. I saw her at the traditional night. I had spoken to her. I thought we were cool until I watched the show and I realized that she was the one that told the other housewives not to talk to me. I respect friendship.
Sometimes, why did you react when you saw that?
I'm watching the show and I'm like, what? We discussed this, shocked because I really, really like Toyi. I don't know what the show does to you. Really, I don't know. My relationship with Toyi was really cool before the show. I really don't know what the show does to you. And then for her, there were a lot of people saying things behind.
Yeah.
People were, telling her stuff that I did or that I said that I didn't say. I don't talk about people that much, and I don't hang out with people that much. So when people tell you that they saw me somewhere doing something, it's a lie, because I'm in my family most of the time.
So here's what's going to happen. At some point in the show, Laura was the villain.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that situation. Okay, let's take a quick break on Rise 360. Stay with us. When we get back, some more on the recap of the Real Housewives of Lagos. You're welcome back to Rise 360. Yeah, so I'm still with Laura Ikeji-Kanu, and we're just talking about Real Housewives of Lagos. You being the villain at the beginning of the story. Talk to me about that. Everybody was like, what's wrong with Laura? What's wrong with Laura?
There's nothing wrong with Laura. There's actually nothing wrong with me. People could not differentiate the Instagram Laura and then the Real Housewives Laura. I'm a very bubbly person. I play a lot. I enjoy myself. I love a very good company. I love life, right? But when you are put in the midst of people that you don't really understand like that much, and then, because I had already said that I didn't like one particular person on the show, and then when I saw her, I was like, hey, I'm not gonna mess with you on the show. And that's the part that the internet doesn't know, or didn't know until now. And I'm not the villain. How am I the villain?
Am I the drama? I'm not the drama. Okay, but at the end of everything, though, there was this phrase, wahala. That was when Caroline and Chioma had their fight. Which was really odd, because that was off the back of Iyabo and Caroline having their drama. Now, at the beginning, we only saw Laura and Caroline. And everyone, I feel like, in a way, if we're being very honest, most people picked a side. It was like,
what's wrong with this Laura?
Exactly, what's wrong with Laura? But then, when Caroline and I fought with, I was saying sisters in the mud, besties. How did that feel for you? Because I felt like you tried so hard to explain, but at some point I felt like you gave up.
I gave up because I was tired. The bad thing about the show was that once you have a fight with somebody, they all pick a side. You don't necessarily need to pick a side. Let the women fight and then make up. Let them fight their battle. You don't need to pick a side. After the fight I had with Caroline, it was obvious they all went, with Caroline. Even my friend went with Caroline. And when Caroline started having problems, you guys did not even see what happened in Dubai. When Caroline started having problems with all of them, I was like, but I said it now. But this is what I've been saying all along. What is wrong with you guys? But I'm happy. I'm happy that happened, and I'm not even gonna hide it. At the reunion, I laughed. I enjoyed myself. I was, playing and dancing because I'm not a bad person. I'm not a nasty person. I do not have a negative vibe. But when you treat me a certain way, I respond in a certain way. If you give me negative vibe, I'll give you negative vibe. With Caroline, I started it. I can't lie. I'm taking responsibility for it. I started the whole drama with Caroline because I didn't like her before the show. And we had our differences before the show.
Yeah.
Caroline's not a bad person. I can't even... None of the women are bad people. But when they, picked Caroline over me, I was like, you know what? I'm done with the show. But I'm not somebody to give up. And the thing is, I would have said, I'm not going to go to Dubai. Because they don't like me. Why am I going to Dubai? They don't like me.
The scene in the car where everyone was dancing, it was so awkward. I could feel the awkward energy, Laura, watching. It was so tense. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is...
I was tired, but I didn't want to give up. I was tired. I could have left the apartment. I could have left. I could have gone back to Nigeria. But I didn't want to give up because I think God was telling me, chill. Chill, girl, chill. It will happen soon. And when it happened, girl, thank you, Jesus.
Okay, now, Laura, the show has, it's wrapped up. You see, we saw different sides to you. We saw the energy. We saw... It was a good story. Like I said, how things start out. Sometimes you don't have to explain yourself. Just let things just let things play out, and we saw how things play out. So how are things now? You're off the back of the show. Are you let's talk about Chioma actually, the outfits, was that real? Because I feel like with you and Chioma, I feel you both have actually good energy. I feel it was just the tension coming from everybody else that kind of just clashed with you both. Think about Caroline's soiree. How there was no reason for you and Chioma to have issues, but for some reason it just came up. So did you feel like as well, people just kept on bringing up things that made that situation happen? Because she even said it like, oh, I wouldn't have had any issues with Laura. And I was like, really? Really?
I really don't want to talk about Chioma right now.
But are you guys cool is all I'm asking.
We're very I'm cordial with every housewife. We're very cordial. I won't see them in the streets of Lagos and not say hello.
Yeah.
I'm not that petty. I'm very cordial with Tony, Chioma, Caroline, Yabo, and Mariam. But in terms of friendship, I don't think that would happen. For my own mental health. I have 2 children that I have to live for, please.
Okay.
So, no.
Another question. There was a scene during the dinner where it was like, Laura just fake apologizes. That wasn't real. Was that a real apology?
No, it wasn't. Okay, the thing is, somewhere, right? And it wasn't like an apology. I was telling them, hey, because I felt what they were, I didn't know they were ganging up at that time. But I felt the energy was very off when we're coming to Lagos. When we're going to Dubai, at the airport, they were all, and I was like, what? Tony, you're my friend. We entered the plane, it was still off. So I just knew that Dubai, they were going to come for me. I just knew. See, I read psychology. I knew that Dubai was going to be bloody. So I just said, you know what? Dubai is a place to, make amends. Make sure that these women are okay with you, and then when we leave Dubai, we can start our madness. But in Dubai, you have to respect yourself. I just knew what was going to happen, so I had to respect myself in Dubai. There are a lot. I didn't need to apologize to anybody because I didn't really do anything. I didn't do anything to most of them, but I just wanted to, just chill and make sure that nobody fights me in Dubai because I can't run home.
Okay, now it's all done. I'm sure there's going to be season 2 because season 1 was so bloody. I can't imagine how season 2 would be like. So are you looking forward to that? Are you excited as to what we're going to see, the new alliances, new relationship? Because it's a lot of the battle of the fittest. How do I even call it? Are you excited for what season 2 is going to bring?
I don't think I wanted to go on season 2 right now until it happens.
But you're definitely coming back for season 2.
I don't think that will be my decision anymore. Until I don't know. I really
we'll have to just wait and see, right? Okay, well, Laura, I think you did amazing, But family, wise, your kids.
Yeah.
How's everyone? Your sister? How's everyone reacting?
I'm obsessed with my family.
I know. You talk about her all the time.
I know.
But then I feel like you're in a position where on social media, everyone knows Laura as the bubbly, excited, gingered. And then, of course, your sister is also the subject of so many different types of conversations. I've had her on the show as well. We've had, chats. There was a part where she said, you can't intimidate me. I can never forget the attitude she used to say that, like, people can keep talking, I don't care. But for you, you have to deal with that. You have to meet people that will tell you straight to your face, I don't like your sister. your sister did this to me, or how do you
I
handle
haven't,
that?
I haven't met anybody that said, I don't. You can't tell me you don't like my sister in front of me.
So no one ever just walks up to you and talks about your sister?
I won't even listen. No, nobody has done that.
What about on social media?
Oh, a lot on social media. I mean,
Yeah.
she owns one of the biggest entertainment blogs in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Well, I'm used to it. It's just that with the Real Housewives, that was actually the first time I was facing someone. Usually I see all these comments on social media, but Real Housewives was the first time I was facing someone that had, a particular issue with her. And I was like, you know what, I'll defend my sister till the end. My family, see, I love my sister, I love my sisters and my brother and my kids and my husband. I'm obsessed with family, and in fact, that's why I didn't do anything at the reunion. I would have said, hey, boy, you lied. Why did you say? I was like, you got to respect your family. Today, I'm obsessed with my family.
Did you regret the fight? Did you regret letting your temper flare up as much as it did? And were you upset that they were holding you? I felt like you wanted to just break it.
Yeah.
Why were they holding you? I asked Dari. I was like, Dari, why did you hold Laura?
It's not fair. That wasn't fair, but would I have reacted differently? I don't know. I really don't know. When you're on the show, you just don't know until you join the cast. You should join the cast.
Me. Let me not lie to you, Laura. I respect you women because you have amazing strength. Half of the things you all had to endure, they would have probably kicked me out. Like, you catch his hand, go, catch it, just go. Because what? That fight was unnecessary. The things that were said,
oh my goodness,
they were just mean.
There's certain things that I can't even say.
There were things that were said. I felt like that information was, and I think that's also a pattern. It was not necessary.
It wasn't.
We don't need that information.
It wasn't.
We don't need to know what happened where. It's nobody's business. So I felt like it was a direct attack, and then bringing in your husband into the mix as well. Those things shouldn't have been
My
said.
husband hasn't watched the show.
He hasn't?
I told him not to.
He hasn't seen it.
People like, okay, I need to watch. I say, hey, don't watch that show. They don't show it here.
No way. But I think eventually he will watch it.
I don't want him to watch it.
Why?
Because he hasn't seen me like that before in my life. Or in his life.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen me like that. I don't think I've ever done that before. But then you don't know what you do until you join the show. Because you're in front of me telling me something that I did not do. I have never done in my life. It's so obvious that it was a lie. And you never know how you react. In fact, I was shocked the way I reacted because I've never done that kind of thing before in my entire life. You have to respect people sometimes. You have to, watch your words sometimes. Even when there's certain things I said via the text, via WhatsApp that I regretted, because don't say that about people. We can do whatever, but when it comes to family, please respect family.
Yeah.
And
I think that's one thing that people definitely are going to start to know about Laura Ikeji, that when it comes to family, you're big on that. Laura, I think you are an amazing person, and congratulations on a successful season.
Thank you.
I think it ended well. I loved how it ended. It couldn't have ended. I was like, yes, the satisfaction of this fight.
Oh my goodness.
I love all the women. I think you all are human at the end of the day, and your lives are on. I mean, I'm not perfect. If someone had a camera on my face, just in this studio alone, I feel like the perception that people have of me outside, they will also question it. So it's easy to judge when you're not the person in front of the camera. So again, well done.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us on Arise 360 today.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome back to the show. My name is Kachi Ofia, and you're watching Arise 360. So, looking back on the Real Housewives of Lagos, I think it's just one lesson we learn. What goes around comes around. What goes up must come down. Anyway, let's take a look back on the week that was, some of the top stories that made international headlines over the last week. A look back on a week around the world. Okay, so we learned this week officially, even if it was announced last week, Friday, that abortions are now illegal in the U.S. following the Supreme Court's historic decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, this leaves the question of abortion rights up to state governments to decide. Multiple states already had trigger laws in place that automatically just banned abortion access in anticipation of this eventual ruling on Roe v. Wade. Now, so far, we know that 11 states and 11 others are set to put a complete ban on it totally. The state of abortions in other states as well is still a little unclear, but it's likely that they will follow suit. Well, celebrities at the BET Awards, they made this front and center of the entire show. They couldn't stop talking about it. Here is what Taraji P. Henson, Keke Palmer had to say about this.
I think it's disgusting. How dare you tell us what to do with our bodies? And it's inhumane, and it's a dark day in America. But as Americans and as humans, full of love and joy, we're going to rise in hope and not sink in cynicism. That's been my messaging.
How did we get here to the point where we're overturning things? You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that we actually need to get under control, and like this isn't one of them. This was something that was settled and finished. So it just, to me, it's a shock. We need to do something. I know my friend and I, we're talking, how do I learn more? How do I do more for where I'm at? You know, to make sure like you feel responsible as well. The whole situation feels gaslighting. So I think it's just a lot to process, you know, and I don't know all the answers. All I can really say, you know, is the overwhelming feeling of disappointment and devastation.
Well, that was Taraji P. Henson. She hosted the show. Janelle Monáe, Jasmine Sullivan as well. There were some other big stars who used their star power at the BET Awards to just strongly criticize the Supreme Court's decision to strip away women's constitutional protection in the U.S. for abortions. So the highlights, all the great performances, P. Diddy's Lifetime Achievement Award. I mean, there were too many. Five Boy DML, Thames took home a big award as well. Best International Artist, Best Collaboration for her track with Wizkid, Essence. It was a great show. And now I'm just going to let you enjoy the epic highlights. Okay, now let's talk about what else is happening around the world of entertainment. Speaking specifically about Ghislaine Maxwell, she got 20 years in prison. And of course, while this was a decision that was celebrated by many, it was also heavily criticized by her defense team. Now, with regards to this particular situation, the former British socialite was sentenced to 20 years in prison for sex trafficking on behalf of her longtime partner, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the 60-year-old, she addressed the court during her sentencing, but she did not directly accept any responsibility. She did say she was sorry for the pain that the victims had gone through, but didn't say she was sorry for the pain that she had caused. Well, let's take a look at what her representatives had to say.
It's been an incredibly long journey for me. As you guys know, I came forward in 2016. This has been an incredibly complicated case, incredibly traumatic for the victims, the survivors, and today is a day I didn't think would ever happen. So for me, it's a blessing, it really is, and I've prayed for this woman so hard and so long, and God's need our praise today.
Personally, for me, that was not an apology. She once again did not acknowledge her crimes, did not take responsibility for them in any way, so that was really disappointing.
There are other people that should be held accountable. I can't talk a whole lot about that, but I don't think that this is over. If it's over from a criminal perspective, it's not over from a civil perspective. So we will keep pushing forward until the whole range of people are known, what they did and what they didn't do. If the government prosecutes them, that'll be great. But on a very conservative indictment, she's getting 20 years. So that doesn't sound lucky, but in the course and scope of what she did, it is.
Do you think the judge was...
Well, this same week, disgraced singer R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. This is for 9 counts of racketeering and sex trafficking. Now, his crimes go as far back as the early 19s. And this week, we saw Faith Orr reporting about this story from Brooklyn, what the hearing took place.
R. Kelly has effectively been sentenced to life in prison. The 55-year-old must serve 30 years for abusing women, girls and boys for decades. His victims told the court he'd imprisoned them, starved them and raped them. One woman said she could never have known how much attending a concert in 1994 would change her life. She was abused by Kelly that night and stayed silent. She regrets that now, seeing the damage done to other victims.
I personally, this happened to me a long time ago. I was 17, I'm 45 today. I never thought that I would be here to see him be held accountable for the atrocious things that he did to children. I don't know what else to say except that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for today. And I'm grateful that Robert Sylvester Kelly is away, will stay away, and will not be able to harm anyone else.
All right, let's real quick get into the world of social media and talk about what is trending today. So, Nollywood actress Funke Akindele and her husband Abdul Bello, popularly known as JJC Skills, you remember him from We Are Africans, louder! They have ended their marriage. You know, that is JJC Skills, he announced this separation to let the public know that, you see, they're pursuing their individual lives. He took us as far back as the AMVCA to remind us that in as much as they were together on the stage, you know, we couldn't have guessed anything was wrong, that they have been, you know, living their separate lives. Now, the whole situation about, you know, the problems in their marriage first got to the public after JJC Skills' stepson Benito, he dragged Funke Akindele on social media. Now, we remember that conversation. He revealed that all was not well in, you know, this marriage that is greatly admired by many. But when we put that tag, greatly admired, I'm like, are they not human beings at the end of the day? He also spoke about how his stepmom was allegedly a horrible person. According to Benito, he said his father cheated on Funke, which led to a very big fight. He also revealed that Funke Akindele also cheated on his father. Now, the truth is, all these claims are unconfirmed. You know, we don't know how true they are because these are all things that the stepson had to say. But we also know that, you know, he gave him a good beating at some point in his life. He kept talking about that. But following this split, social media had so much to say about it. So let's take a look at how a lot of people have reacted to this story. Now, this tweet says, JJC said he and Funke Akindele have had a very difficult time over the last 2 years, but their social media posts and behavior have shown a different story. It's another reminder that you shouldn't compare your real lives to other people's controlled online content. Fact. I mean, this is like such an important fact. Funke Akindele and JJC breaking up after 2 children is a good social media fan base. And a good social media fan base is scary. It's not about dating stage. Proper marriage with fruits of the womb. Fans should sue, please. What in the world? Let's move on. What do the fans have to do with this? Moving on to the next tweet on this conversation. This tweet says, marriage is a beautiful thing when you're in with a good, loving, caring, understanding partner. Because Funke and JJC broke up, doesn't mean that yours isn't going to work out. Remember, what rocks someone's boat might sink others. Say after me, my marriage will work out good. Because there's always this fear for a lot of people that, oh my goodness, everyone is breaking up. What's going to happen? Well, finally, this tweet says, to be very honest, I thought Funke Akindele and JJC were doing fine in their relationship. During the production of Jennifer, both going for awards, doing TikTok videos together, never knew there was more going on the ground. Now, God go seeing with this relationship thing at the end of the day. Well. I really hope that for both of them, they find time to just heal separately. And I'm sounding like Jada Pinkett Smith, but genuinely, I hope that they're fine because this has to be incredibly, incredibly difficult. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. Coming back on the show, I'll have a Rise correspondent, Judisa De Silva, live in London, discussing the latest in film and TV. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Rise 360. You're still with me, and we're about to wrap this up. But before we do, we've got to get into the world of streaming cinema. So many movie stars, and with them come loads of great stuff and drama, you know? But the thing is, we love to see it. So let's get into today's big stories in film and television. Well, joining me now from London, we're discussing the big stories in film and television. I've got a Rise correspondent, Judita De Silva. Great to have you on the show, G. So let us begin. Warner Brothers Studios, they're giving a definitive statement, right, in support of their relationship, or should I call it partnership, with J.K. Rowling. This is after the mishap by one of their PR agents. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, so the actor Tom Felton, who we know played Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies, he was at the press event opening the Warner Brothers Studio Tour expansion of The Making of Harry Potter. And so during the press questionnaire, someone from Sky News asked a question about, oh, you guys are the face of the franchise, but is it weird not doing this stuff with J.K. Rowling? And we know about after her trans comments, she's kind of scaled back her basically front-facing roles when it comes to the promotion of Harry Potter. And then straight away, the PR agent, who is not a Warner Brothers employee, is just an external agency that was brought in for that event, cut off the question and said, next question, please. And later on explained that, and I quote, that J.K. Rowling has nothing to do with Warner Brothers or Tom Felton, so we felt the question was not relevant. Warner Brothers got on that very quickly and released a statement. And I'm going to actually read it out to you. It said, Warner Brothers has enjoyed a creative, productive, and fulfilling partnership with J.K. Rowling for the past 20 years. She's one of the world's most accomplished storytellers, and we are proud to be the studio to bring her vision, characters, and stories to life now and for decades to come. So then they went on to actually say that it was wholly wrong for that statement to be made by the PR agent, and they don't work for Warner Brothers. They are an external agency. So you can see that Warner Brothers does cherish, they know on which side their bread is buttered, and they do cherish the value of J.K. Rowling, despite what press might suggest.
Exactly, and we have to remember that press, again, is another third party. But the thing is, if we look at the common factor in all of this, it's everybody else talking apart from the people who matter, like Warner Brothers. Why are third parties like the press and the PR agents and some fans so pressed for J.K. Rowling to just be excluded from the greatness that she has brought into some of these production companies like Warner Brothers?
I think it's because people want to see the power of cancel culture. J.K. Rowling, like, remember when we had this conversation a while back? There are very few people that I believe are uncancelable. And this was on the back of the Dave Chappelle situation. J.K. Rowling is, when you have one person and their imagination has put billions into the entertainment industry, this is from musicals to plays to books to films to merchandising. That person she's making too many people too much money. She's uncancelable. So when you say that, does Warner Brothers not make a statement? Because that's good business. Let everyone make noise. But we know what our relationship is. But if anybody breaches the boundaries of that relationship, we will put them in check. And that just shows that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is dollars and cents, not opinions.
Exactly. Well, the producers of the James Bond franchise have given some insight into the future of Bond. Who will play him and when the next film will be out. So I'm very curious. What exactly did they say?
Okay, so Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, who run Eon, that produces the films, and basically they are custodians of the film since back in the day when Cubby Broccoli took it on. They were getting their BFI fellowship at a very glitzy event, and they were talking to Deadline. And Barbara Broccoli just said it blatantly that nobody is in the running for the next Bond, and filming the next film is at least 2 years away, if that. And they said there is no script because they're thinking about where is the character going to go next, and they're looking at reinventing Bond altogether. And until they decide on where he's going next, that's the only way they can then start having a script and thinking about who's going to play him. And we have to remember that when you swap over Bonds, so whether it was Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig, it was 4 years. There's normally a big gap. So in this transitional phase, especially with how Daniel Craig ended, it might be a while. And because everyone's been speculating about who's going to be the next Bond, it's a big deal for Barbara Broccoli to say, we're not considering anyone at the moment.
Did Bond, curious, I'm just asking, did he have a child?
I mean, listen, I don't want to get emotional in this show because they've messed with Bond. I've been following him since I was a child. You're blowing him up. So like 007, that agent is fully dead. Like he's dead. He has a child. So if you decide to come back and tell me like his child is now the new 007, I'm going to fight someone. I will fight someone. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Because I mean, my mind is just roaming. Like, let's be honest, Drew. Like, what are they going to do with this character? It's one of those things where it's so iconic. You can't just put anyone there. Otherwise, no matter how great they are, you risk losing the essence of the character and just having a bunch of fans enjoy a movie, but then it's not the 007 that we know. So what are they what is likely? What are they going to do with this, honestly? Is it going to be like a prequel or, I don't even know.
Listen, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you something that I've said, but I've never said publicly. I believe they shot themselves in the foot with No Time to Die. Because you've now put something in the minds of everyone that 007 is dead and we know when he dies. So even if you do a prequel, The flavor changes because we already know the ending. And the key is you can't reinvent him completely because, like I said about so many things, Black people are not begging to have everything white people have. There are some things that are just white that we find entertaining. 007 was a white man written by a white man to be misogynistic and be a hero. That's who he is. That is entertaining. He's not real. We don't need him to be Black. We don't need him to be female. We don't need him to be trans. He is what he is. So they've gone so far as to kill him off. You might as well just not call it Bond and start something else because Ian Fleming meant it to be what it is.
Exactly. Well, Jube, as we wrap this up, like famous movie stars Gene Hackman and Jack Nicholson, Cameron Diaz announced her retirement from acting. I mean, but that was back in 2018. Now she's making a comeback, isn't she?
Yes, she's going to be starring in a new Netflix production that's going into production later this year with Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx announced it on his social media with this very funny audio tape of him calling, going live with Cameron Diaz on the phone and putting her in touch with Tom Brady, who famously retired and then unretired very quickly after.
Yeah.
She gets like, okay, if you unretire, he's a great person to tell you how to do it.
Quite honestly, Jube, my thing is, I mean, retiring and then coming out of retirement to do the same thing you retired for.
Listen, everyone wants to be Cher. Cher has been retiring for 20 years, so that's what they did.
Ju, have a fantastic, non-dramatic weekend, all right? Thanks for joining me on the show. All right, well, it is time for us to take a look at what you can enjoy this weekend. And for that, we're turning to Nigeria's top streaming service, Arise Play, and what you can enjoy in the platform this weekend.
Called Daft Punk came into my life. She's up all night for good fun. I did the record Get Lucky, and I sort of made this promise to myself that I was going to make more songs than I've ever written in my life. I was going to do more live shows than I've ever done in my life, and I was going to do more collaborations, and I just kept going and kept going.
And that creativity's still going at full throttle.
Titles every day to our awesome collection of blockbuster movies. Download the app and subscribe. This isn't just a streaming channel. This is a bold new world of entertainment. Arise Play. Beyond streaming.
Well, this has been absolutely amazing. Thanks for being a part of Arise 360 with me, Ikeji of your. Big shout out to my guest, Laura Ikeji. And from all of us here in Lagos, in London, you can catch Arise 360 every single weekday at 5 p.m. Until next time, enjoy your weekend and, of course, subscribe to Arise Play.